So last night, the second season of HBO's House of the Dragon premiered, and I have some thoughts. As a heads up, this will be a spoiler-heavy video for both this episode, titled A Son for a Son, and Fire and Blood, the book The House of the Dragon is based on. I am going to break this up into what I liked, what I didn't like, and what was meh. So this episode opens up in the north with Lord Cregan Stark providing some exposition on the wall in the Night's Watch. I'm a sucker for the North, and it's Stark's my favorite house, so I was happy to see this. There's an interesting new detail that we learn about where there seems to be a Shirley Jackson-esque lottery system to bring in recruits for the Night's Watch. There wasn't anything like that in the books or the original series, so this seems to be a new detail for House of the Dragon. It may be something that we learn about in Winds of Winter or in the lore books, but for now, this is the only time it comes up. Cregan hypes up the Night's Watch and being sent there as honorable and noble. So maybe it's my sense of humor, but having the Warden of the North tell some kid that it's a good thing that he's being exiled to Siberia, basically, saying that it's an honor, not a sentence, made me smile a bit. Like, y'all know Cregan Stark is never going to be on the list of potential recruits. He's safe up in Winterfell, okay? So I think there's two things going on here. So one, I think, is to show that the Night's Watch was viewed more seriously back in the day. Like people actually cared that they were fully staffed and were prepared for whatever came their way. And number two, I think it's kind of a way to show that the High Lords don't always share the same burdens and take the same risks as their subjects. This idea also comes up in a scene between Mysteria and Daemon, where he confronts her on working with Otto Hightower last season. I think that it's good to remind the audience that ultimately we are choosing which Nepo baby we want to sit on the world's most important uncomfy chair. Speaking of subjects in Nepo babies, next we get to see how Alicent and Aegon's faction, Team Green, are faring with ruling King's Landing. Aegon is really fun this episode and provides some much needed levity from the very heavy mood the rest of the cast is in. Tom Glencarny brings a Theon Greyjoy type of vibe to the role. He is awful, but he's very fun to watch, and you can see how he got to be the way he is. His bonding with Sanjay Harris was cute, and I hope that we get some more moments along those lines with his daughter Jaehaera. I also like how the plight of the small folk comes up again in the scene where he is hearing petitions. Several people mention to him how the war preparations are impacting them, and the viewer gets to see that the war is more than just Team Green versus Team Black. It is not only the Targaryens, Hightowers, and other noble houses being impacted. The whole realm is being turned upside down over all of this. His sister, Queen Rhaenyra, is also a standout here. Emma Darcy does a great job conveying Rhaenyra's grief with very few lines. If they bring this level of performing all season, they may be up for awards. I am very interested to see what they do with Rhaenyra this season, since she is different from her book counterpart. It is somewhat hard for me, anyway, to make predictions solely based off Fire and Blood in this case. I also like how this episode gives her faction time to stew. We see how Corlys, Daemon, and Jacaerys are all taking their loss. So Thea Sabin also brings her A game as the Green Queen, Helena. She doesn't have many lines, but you can tell how much turmoil she's going through, even if she's not expressing it. You can see in her eyes how panicked she is and how lost she feels. Well, on the subject of Helena, now on to what didn't work for me. One of the things causing said turmoil for Helena is the murder of her son Jaehaerys. I feel like I have to back things up a bit to fully explain why this doesn't work for me. Okay, so as we all know, last season Rhaenyra's son Luke was killed by Aemond and his dragon Vhagar. In pursuit of revenge, Daemon hires two men, known as Blood and Cheese, to kill someone on Team Green. So in the show, the Plan A target is Aemond. However, they can't find him, and they go for Helena's son, Jaehaerys. In the book, it seems like they go straight for Helena, and they could choose between either her son Jaehaerys or her other son, Maelor, who doesn't seem to have been born yet in the show version of events, anyway. It is worth noting that in the show, the camera kind of lingers on Daemon after one of the killers asks what happens if they can't find Aemon. He kind of gives them like this knowing smirk, giving his approval to kill whoever they need to. In the books, we don't see him hiring Blood and Cheese. We just hear about him telling Rhaenyra that he did so. This means that Aemon theoretically could have been a target all along. Like that may have been what he told Blood and Cheese. It could have been how it went down in the books. So it's not a total deviation. Either way, you end up with a son for his son, like Rhaenyra's faction Team Black wanted, and Helaena loses a child. The story beats basically stay the same. Like the scene is horrific, even without the Sophie's Choice element. Like you can hear poor little baby Jaehaerys, like his neck being cut. It's awful. Like I had to mute my headphones when I was watching this episode. It was bad. It was still awful. Um, what makes it not work and where the deviation starts to bother me is when Helena and her daughter Jaehaera, they're running for their life. They barge in on Alicent and Criston Cole sleeping together. Okay, so in the books, Alicent and Criston don't have a romantic relationship that we know of anyway. The writers adding this element to the show version of events is fine for me personally. However, a scene like that, like them being together right after something so horrific, it kind of undercuts the tension and makes it feel like a sitcom. So Fire and Blood is not my favorite book in the franchise, so I'm not too particular with it being adapted like one for one, word for word. However, to me, the 1-2 punch of Team Black losing Luke and Team Green losing Jaehaerys is key to the path the war takes. It starts off being about ideas like progress versus precedent. However, after those losses, it becomes a 2D last monarch knockdown drag out. Whatever values Rhaenyra and Aegon hold stop mattering. The realm suffers because the vengeance quest of these two factions. I also wish that if they were going to make Allie Cole, the pairing name for Alicent and Criston Cole, canon, that they would have invested more time in setting them up. So yeah, there were moments in season one that could be interpreted as romantic. Like I said, they have a pairing name, and if you go on to Archive of Our Own, there are fanfics for the pair. So the viewers picked up on any romantic vibes that the writers may have been trying. However, just because they had feelings for each other, being willing to act on that is a completely different thing. Like, I need to see the build up of them being willing to go there. The pairing could be really interesting. There are a lot of themes that you can tackle via them as a couple. Um, the Son of Ice and Fire loves to explore, quite notably, the contradictions of knighthood, love versus duty, societal rules versus personal happiness, etc. However, with what we are given, it feels like they're only together to give the viewers a reason why neither of them were with Helena when baby Jaehaerys is killed. I might like them more together in the next few episodes once this new dynamic is fleshed out. There's still potential for interesting character development here, and we might see those themes explored. For now, it goes in the meh pile. Hopefully, they can do something interesting with this. If not, it's just kind of like feels like an excuse to see Olivia Cook and Fabian Frankel naked. Overall, I give this episode a strong 7 to a light 8. There are many promising plot threads, and the ones I don't totally care for are salvageable, depending on how the rest of the season goes. I'm looking forward to the next 7 episodes. I hope to see y'all there. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe.